Hey there, friends. You want to see something really cool? Check this out. This is a poi flower, one of my very favorite poi tricks. It's eye-catching, bold, and impressive to watch. Thing is, I'm pretty sure that I can teach you how to do this in less than 30 minutes, not including the time it's going to take you to watch this video. Let's see if I'm right. Drex here from Drex Factor Poi, sharing with you the love of poi spinning and flow arts to benefit your body and brain. And today, we are breaking down one of my favorite poi tricks in a really quick lesson. But before we dive in, I just want to give a quick shout out to the friends of the channel. Big thanks to Dark Monk, Fire Mecca, Flow Fests, Flow Toys, Juggling Calling, Pyroterra Light Toys, Spin Balls, and Ultra Poi for helping to make the videos on this channel possible. You can learn more about all these awesome companies and the work that they're doing to support flow artists like yourself by checking out the links down in the description of this video. And special thanks to the non-business friend of the channel, Pekka Pekkonen. Thank you so very much for supporting my channel, my work, and my mission. So straight up, poi flowers are a personal favorite. They open up a lot of freedom of movement. They take up a huge volume and, well, they just look pretty cool. And as I've been working with some of my private lesson students, I've been coming across new ways of teaching them such that I'm pretty sure that I can teach this type of poi flower in 30 minutes or less. Now, your results may vary. No one lesson is going to work perfectly for everybody, but I'm pretty sure that this is going to be a technique that's going to work for a lot of people. Ground rules before we dive in, though. I'm going to be giving you this lesson in several steps. Do not move on to the next step until you can get at least 10 reps of whatever I'm teaching you in the previous step. That'll make sure that you've actually built up all the muscle memory that you need to move on to the next step. This sequence is really important. Don't try to rush ahead. And real quick, I'm going to lay down just a little bit of theory as to what is going on in this flower and what exactly a poi flower is. You don't need to know any of this stuff to get down this poi trick, so if you want to skip it, feel free. You can jump ahead to this time code right here. Alright, so there can be a lot going on in poi flowers, so there are 3 specific things I want you to keep your eye on as we talk about this particular trick. Those are as such. Number 1, the poi and hands are traveling around a circle in opposite directions and reaching the top and bottom of that circle at exactly the same time. In the poi world, we have a thing that we refer to as timing and direction, and there are 4 separate modes that this can happen in. The particular mode that we're looking at for this flower is together opposite or butterfly, and yes, that does mean that there are several other variations on the flower that I'm teaching you today. Number 2, each individual hand and poi are moving around in the same direction, with the poi completing multiple beats for every single beat that the hand completes. These are what we refer to as inspin flowers. And number 3, the poi is spinning around fast enough that it is drawing out 2 smaller lobes inside of the larger poi flower. We would refer to each of these lobes as a petal, and thus, this is a 2-petal inspin flower. Awesome, so with that groundwork laid, let me go ahead and set up my home studio and practice space, and let's get down to work. Yeah, okay, it's a little messy in here. Let me take care of all this right quick. Much better. All right, so this lesson should work regardless of what type of poi you're using, but in particular, I prefer poi for beginners that tend to be a little bit softer and have a little bit of heft to them. So something like Pod Poi from Flow Toys or Fabric Poi from Sock Poi is an ideal fit for this. I'll include links to both of those companies down in the description. This is going to wind up being a 5-step process, so let's dive in. Step 1, arms. All poi flowers are driven by the movement of the hands, so without getting down the pattern with the hands, well, the flowers aren't really going to happen. So let's start here. So we want to make sure that we're going through 4 specific positions as we move our hands around. The first, with our hands parallel, pointing straight down to our feet and extended as far down as we can get. The second, with our arms straight out to either side, even in height with our shoulders. The third, with our hands reaching as high as we can get above our head. And the fourth, with our arms crossed at shoulder level. So again, that's down, out, up, crossed, down, out, up, crossed. See if you can get between these 4 positions. 10 times. Once you get to a spot where you're comfortable moving your hands between all these 4 positions, we're going to take out the dime stops and just have our hands move smoothly and continuously through these circles. We still have those 4 positions present, but they're kind of blurred into the bigger circle, and that's exactly how we want it for our flowers. Once again, I want you to do 10 repetitions moving your arms around in this pattern before we move on to the next step. Let me show you this exercise from a few different angles. Step 2, adding extensions. Awesome, so now that your hands understand the basic movement that we need in order to perform our flowers, we're going to start getting our poi involved, specifically by adding the poi in as what we would call extensions, so that the poi are just sticking straight out from our arms and basically acting as extensions of them. Clever name, right? So at this point, I would recommend wrapping the poi around your hands. Usually you can get them to wrap around at least twice, and then letting out 1 coil. So you still have 1 coil wrapped around your hands, but a little bit of the poi to work with. From here, I want you to go ahead and produce those same circles with your arms going around, but you're probably going to have to adjust your speed just a little bit to make those poi perfect extensions of your arms. If you find that the poi are going limp as you're going across the top here, you need to speed your arms up. And if you find that the poi are going super wild as they go up and over, you're moving your hands too fast. You need to find the Goldilocks zone that's halfway between those 2 points. Again, see if you can get in 10 reps with your poi at half length, and then work to extend them all the way to full length. Again, you might find that you have to make a little bit of an adjustment in terms of the speed of your arms and poi, but again, we're looking to have the poi going straight out as extensions of your arms all the way from the shoulder. Also, at this point, you might be finding that you're having some problems across the top having the poi run into each other. Here's how to fix that. You want to think that as you're going through the top here, you have one hand on top of the other. Whichever hand is on top, the top of that poi is going to be pointing a little bit at you, and the bottom hand is going to have the poi pointed a little bit away from you, like so. If you need a deeper lesson on how to do this, I actually did do a video on it that I will go ahead and link to down in the description as well as up in the cards. But suffice to say, from the side, you want the 2 planes of your poi to kind of look like an X. Once again, we're looking for 10 reps of this exercise. And when we get that down, it's time to move on to the next step. Once again, let me show you this exercise from a few different angles. Step 3, butterflies from the wrists. So in our last step, we learned how to create big circles with our arms and poi that originate from our shoulders. Now we're going to try creating smaller circles that originate from our elbows instead. Here's how. Start off with those big circles once again. And as you're going around, try and see if you can localize the movement to just your elbows. The poi should be able to just follow along as you're doing this. Again, we're looking for 10 repetitions of this pattern. Once you get comfortable creating these circles from your elbow, I want you to see if you can create the circles from your wrists instead. At this stage, it's going to be really tempting to keep your hands far apart in order to keep the poi from having any possibility of running into each other. But I want you to buck that temptation and instead try and see how closely together you can keep your hands. If you can touch your hands together, that's great. Even better if you can get them to cross each other just slightly. Again, we're looking for 10 reps of this. And once you have down 10 reps of this pattern with your wrists, which we call the butterfly, well, you're ready to move on to the next step. And here's that exercise from a few different angles. Step 4, big circle, little circle. Awesome, so now that you can do both big circles from your shoulders as well as little circles from your wrists, you're ready to go back and forth between them. And the beginnings of that flower are going to start to appear. So key to doing this is thinking that you're alternating between shoulders, wrists, shoulders, wrists. So again, start off big, thinking shoulders, maybe get in 1, 2, 3 reps, and then 1, 2, 3 reps at the wrists. 1, 2, 3 reps at the shoulders, 1, 2, 3 reps at the wrists. And then see if you can get down to just 1, 2 at the shoulders, 1, 2 at the wrists, 1, 2 at the shoulders, 1, 2 at the wrists. And then just see if you can go straight back and forth between them. Thinking shoulders, wrists, shoulders, wrists, shoulders, wrists, shoulders, wrists. Where exactly do you make the switch from the big circle to the little circle? I'm so glad that you asked. Remember, as we do the big circles that involve making them from our shoulders, we have that point where our wrists cross across the middle here. That's where you want to do the little circle there. That's where you want to switch to that wrist-sized circle. Right as your arms are crossing each other at shoulder level, we still want to have the down, out, and up, but when we do the cross part, that is where we add those little circles. Make sense? Again, we are looking for 10 reps going through switching between big and little circles, big and little circles. When you got 10 of these down in a row, well, you're ready for the final step of this process. And again, here's that exercise from a few different angles. Step 5, petals on the outside. All right, so by now this probably has at least a passing resemblance to the flower that I showed you at the very beginning of this lesson, and we just have one more step to do. See, that little circle that we're doing when our arms cross, we can think of as being a petal for these inspin flowers. We now just need to add petals on the outside to complete that picture. So to do that, let's actually practice right quick by starting with our big circles from our shoulders once again. And what I'm going to ask you to do is pause at that moment when your arms are straight out to either side, even with your shoulders. This is one of the 4 positions that we drilled in that first step. And I want you to just let the poi spin around your hands once, just once. We don't want to hang out here. We want to think big, pause, big, pause, big, pause as we go back and forth between these. Awesome. So then all we really have to do at this point is go back to our little circle, big circle, little circle, big circle, and add that pause on the outside. So think we're doing little circle, pause on the outside, little circle, pause on the outside. We just want to make sure that we're still doing pieces of that big circle in between both of them. Awesome, so our final step here is just that you're going to try and get in 10 reps going back and forth between those little circles in the middle and reaching out to get those petals on the outside as well. Make sure that you're still reaching down and around and up and over in between each of those two spots. And if you want bonus points, see how far you can get your arms to cross across the middle there to really make the petals in each of those flowers pop. Here's the final version from a few different angles. And if you made it this far, congratulations! You learned your Poi Flowers. Wicked! So did these techniques work for you? If so, please post video of yourself doing this trick online and make sure to tag me. I'll come around and leave you some encouragement for having done all that wonderful hard work. And if you're inspired now to explore Poi Flowers, including other timing and direction modes of them, you're in luck because that is the topic of the Flow Circle for this month. The Flow Circle is an exclusive weekly lesson that's available only to my Patreon supporters, and this month the theme is Poi Flowers. We'll be exploring multiple timing and direction modes, how to turn with flowers, different techniques that can assist in putting flowers together, and have an entire lesson that's just devoted to getting down flowers in split time same direction. If you'd like access to those lessons, you can sign up over at patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi. The first lesson is available right now. Go check it out. Also, did you get stuck anywhere in this lesson? Leave me a comment and let me know, and I'll see if I can help you through it. In the meantime, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe so other people can find this video and you can help my channel grow. This video would not be possible without my amazing supporters on Patreon. In particular, I'd love to give a shout out to my Flow patrons who are listed on screen right now. Thank you all so much for supporting my channel, my work, and my mission. And if you all out there would like to support that mission as well, again, you can go sign up at patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi and help me make more videos like this one. Thanks in advance. And if you'd like to go deeper into the rabbit hole of poi tricks, I have an entire series that I did during the pandemic teaching people how to spin poi right from the start and taking them through to intermediate poi spinning. I will go ahead and leave a link to that playlist down in the description as well as up here on screen if you're watching on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give yourselves an opportunity to get out and flow today, and I'll see you with a new video real soon. Take care now. Peace.